fantastic morning here at Djuma Game Reserve. My name is Mark and I'm about to take you on a live safari through the African bushveld. We're in a part of the Greater Kruger National Park, a very, very big wildlife area here in South Africa. And we're in a very unusual place to be opening up. We're actually just off of a main road. We were following some lion tracks this morning. We woke up to the sound of lion calling. They must have come across near the waterhole, near Djuma waterhole or Gowrie Dam, and headed south, and we thought maybe they had crossed south over this road. This road that we're on now is a boundary road for us. We cannot cross it, but the animals certainly can. And just below us in the dip is a dam that we call Twin Dams. This dam is quite a strategic dam actually for animals that are moving north and south, because it is right in the edge of one of the deepest drainage lines, and it's a dry riverbed that we call the Mulwati River. So we found out that there is a lion and a lioness that has been found. So I think the male that must have come down to the south must have met up with this lioness that's moving to the north, and well, who knows, we're going to be going down there to see them very, very shortly. But first I want to show you something very, very interesting. The reason why I can't go straight to the lion is because the safari vehicles have been out already for some time, early this morning, and while we were tracking the lion coming to the south, we learned about tracks that were found heading north, not too much far further east. And so there are some vehicles there already. I'm going to check in on the radio, keep in touch on the radio. I'm going to check in on the radio, and I'm going to see we can maybe get to see them. And we seem to have lost this effect that they call it. Listen. At least 3 lion talking right now. But I wanted to show you this in the morning light. See if any of you can guess what it is. It is almost as though it's one living organism, and this is its breath, early morning breath. It also shows you that we are on our way into winter, one of the coldest mornings we're experiencing this morning. Craig, come in. Is Sean there yet, or can I come into that lock? And there goes the radio. The repeater's gone. No, it hasn't. Sorry, Sean didn't copy. Can I come into that sighting, or should I take standby? Copy, thanks. Now, although this is, I'm going to give you a hint. It's a colony of little creatures that almost act as one organism. It's breath steaming up the morning air. Right, let's go and see these cats. Calling, I suppose, warning. now we're going to sit quietly and see if we can't hear them. Like a cat with catnip, and what there is a lot of probably quite fresh hippo dung. Also a very good sign that she's likely an estrus, and one of the reasons why she has probably called on these males to join her. Can't see the other male yet. Oh, okay, thanks William. William saying he is here, but he's down in the drainage line, which is the dry riverbed just to the east of us. Where's the other one? Yeah. The young one.
Yeah.
The young. Now, her behavior is, well, she's a young lioness, and she's one of two lionesses that are part of the old Styx pride, STYX. And interestingly, this is not the first time we've seen her mating with these boys, and I'm starting to think that maybe she's, we don't know if they are mating yet. We've got to wait and see. But it looks like he's very interested. Why she's rolling like that, I can only speculate. I don't know if she's rolling. Well, it could be that there is also the scent of another cat there. I'm guessing, I'm seeing the hippo dung on the road, and knowing how hippo operate, that he must have sprayed this bush. The male is also scratching a little bit. Now, the bush itself is a piece of young leadwood that has probably been pushed over by elephant, but it's still growing. There's some dead branches there. It's all from a little leadwood tree, and there is no, it's not an aromatic leaf, and I have never seen cats do this with leadwood. So it might have something to do with the dung, and just the fact that cats and dogs and hyena do tend to mask their scent somewhat by rolling in animal dung, vegetarian dung rather. But I don't think that's the entire reason. I think that we probably still have a lot to learn. I can't say that I've ever seen a lioness doing what she's doing right now. And I've been asked the question a few times if cats out here, the big cats, have anything like catnip for domestic cats. And to be honest, I've never really thought so, because I've watched lion extensively over the last 30 years, and to be honest, never really noticed them getting all moggy over a plant. Okay, time to keep quiet now. Something interesting is going to happen. Gonna have to turn around. She's displaying, and what he was doing, she's also just dripping a little bit of urine, and what he's doing is, I can smell it, very strong, very pungent, almost ammonia kind of a smell. And the fact that he's right behind her also indicates that this is going to probably turn into a mating session. It could be why these males have been going south so frequently. Sorry, I'll be in case they try and get into a better position. Now, he was grimacing like that. It's not really a grimace. Well, it is a grimace, I suppose you can call it that. But he is essentially inhaling air over a very special organ in the back of his throat. Magnificent male. Sorry, left to right, left to right. Where's Aubrey going? File control, radio is breaking up a little bit, please repeat that. Morning, Katrina. Katrina is asking if a lioness, a female lion, if a lion will switch prides or stay with a pride all her life. A little bit of both, really, Katrina, in that most lionesses stay with the pride, but every now and then, in my experience, every now and then you find that a lioness will raise cubs maybe that are destined for leaving the pride structure and moving on and becoming the core of maybe a new pride. Interesting what he's doing now. Looks like it could be a spot where there was buffalo urine or some urine. I didn't see her urinating there. She's heading back south, and clearly she's not really interested in him. She's not really displaying like a lioness would coming into estrus. He's behaving as though she is. Fleming, that grimace that he was doing is called the Fleming grimace, and that is to access an organ that picks up the female, the estrus pheromones in her scent. I can't tell you what he's doing now. He's rolling in a spot where there is urine. He's licking it for whatever reason. It's very difficult to get into the mind of a cat. I mean, this is a big male lion behaving like a pussycat. Magnificent big male. Oh, and the light on the other side of the water. She's calling now. And a woolly neck stork flying overhead. Now, the call of the female, if you listen carefully, that call of that female, at the end of the call, there's a hoo, hoo, hoo. Now, unfortunately, the male hasn't called yet, and maybe he will. But the male, at the end of the call, when they do that hoo, hoo, he goes on for a lot longer. She'll only go on for about 4 or 5, maybe 6 times, but the male can go on for 12, 15 times, making that hoo, hoo, hoo noise. She's not Fleming. She's picking up the scent of perhaps her pride mate. That's why she's calling. Her call is primarily to locate her sister or mother, the other female of the Styx pride. And like a sick puppy dog, he'll follow her everywhere. the mulberry bush. Okay, go. We're at Tunde. We're just east of the dam. She's walking around in circles and he's following her. Probably gonna go down into the drainage line. Sean, come south. Oh, you there. Okay, can't see him too well. She's growling at him, she's showing displeasure, she's turning her back to him. Also sitting down, doesn't want him smelling, doesn't want him doing anything. She's giving a low growl, and the way she turns away like that is and also the ears were a little bit flat. It's just a signal to him to keep his distance, that she's not interested right now. So I'm guessing that she's probably just coming into estrus. I don't know if there's any record of the mating south of us, where the Styx bride usually spend most of their time. I wouldn't be surprised if she snaps at him or smacks him, because he's invading her space and she clearly doesn't want it. Now, if any men have ever been in a similar situation where you've said something wrong or done something wrong and you get the cold shoulder, that is the cold shoulder in a lioness's life. Perhaps I need a little bit of help from viewers in terms of when it was we had the Styx lionesses mating, and was it the older one or was it this younger one? Unfortunately, I can't remember these things very well in terms of whether it was 2 months ago or 3 months ago. It might be pertinent. might also be a case of a false estrus or something. Sometimes lionesses keep males in check by a false estrus, as it were, where they won't fall pregnant because they want to make sure that the males are going to be around long enough to keep those cubs. Males ordinarily will fight to protect their progeny, but they can't. There's nothing they can do if they get ousted from a territory. And it's only through time that lionesses can evaluate the males and their strengths and their ability to defend and maintain that territory that they've taken over. But also sometimes they just don't conceive. And even more than that, sometimes sorry, I'm just lost. Yeah, I heard he was down there somewhere in the riverbed or further away. Are you going into the riverbed? The other male lion is just a little bit further up north of us. I guess we ought to be going down onto the sand because that's maybe where they are.
There's a line in the water.
That's the other male. It's gone down to the water. Let's stay here for now. This is his brother. See if we can get his reflection if we come down to the water. just like their smaller counterparts, lion and all other cats, when they're licking there, they do get a fair amount of water on the tongue, but they also, it's almost like they lick backwards. So they don't really get very much water in with each lick. So it makes it look like they drink a lot. And absolutely fantastic. I can't believe it. We've got perfect conditions with beautiful morning light. I call it lion light because if there is ever a time to get the light in the lion's eyes, it's now. Watch this as he comes through the bush. Wow, right towards us, right behind the car. Okay, it's not a car, but you know what I mean. Now, it'd be interesting to note, we saw them, trying to think, a couple of days ago with very, very full bellies down at Biffles, or rather up at Biffles Hook Dam, up, down, I suppose north of here, so we can say it's up at Biffles Hook Dam. And they, well, this is the smaller of the two males, and he was full, but not nearly as full as his bigger brother or comrade. Bullet. Yeah, that one Madonna will be coming out now. I'm just gonna go check in on my watch, but I'm sure he's coming now. Rather than try and follow him through the bush, I decided to try and come to the boundary. It looked like he was making his way to the edge of the riverbed but he could just walk in a straight line south. We'll just check in the riverbed quickly. I hope there's a bit of luck down here. floodplain where we've actually, I think we've been with lion and leopard. There he is. To this floodplain. I got visual of the one, my daughter, just below the second dam, or the dam wall, the broken dam wall in the Milwaukee. Okay, now I've got them. They're also here on the sand, lullabies. He's approaching them. Oh, Sean, keep coming down the riverbed. I think everyone's approaching them, my daughter and my fuzzy now. I just want to get them as well, the same shot if we can. Two at the moment. The affirmative best approach probably in the Milwaukee from Gary, Maine. Hoping that we still Mark, I copied that message. Is that Tom? Okay, Tom, not a problem. I do have to put the radar down every now and then. Final control, do you copy? Copy about 1 out of 5. Copied. Question came in about these male lions. What would happen if these male lions ran into a pride with sub-adult males? Well, sorry, the depends clause has to come in here. I'm not sure who that question came from, but if it is their own pride, They'll tolerate the young males up to a point. It is also not really Oh, Lynn in Michigan. Thank you, Final Control. Lynn in Michigan wants to know. Now, Lynn, if it's their own pride, the young males that might be born in their own pride, by the time they start reaching 3 years old, 3 to 3.5 years old, it's going to be necessary for them to move on. And some males tolerate them a little longer than others, but generally speaking, they eventually it gets to be where they've got to move on and go and find their own. You see, look at that. She doesn't want him yet. Gonna call. Looking at the other male, seeing the other male now for the first time, now that he's turned around. Not for the first time, but for the first time since they've arrived here on the sand. He's known that the other male is nearby. Interestingly, the other male played no role in this calling at all. But she's clear, you can see how she's clearly... She's, I guess, playing hard to get. Because she's not giving him a direct no, she's not smacking him away, but she is getting to the point where by turning away from him and folding her ears back a little bit, and this is displacement activity she's doing now, chewing on Styx, which is probably similar to the activity that we were watching earlier in terms of her rolling on that piece of leadwood. It was more displacement than anything else, a means to do something else other than have to deal with him. Interesting to know which one of the two females this is. I seem to think it's the younger female. Remay wants to know, why did she roar? I love the why questions, because it makes us think, and we can only maybe come to some understanding by asking why. But there are often times when we actually don't know the full reason why things happen. Why did she roar? I believe that she's roaring mostly to call the other female from the Styx pride. I believe there has been another lioness calling up in the north near Buffelshoek Dam, and there is space for one. Sorry, I do have to talk on the radio every now and then. Whether that lioness or that cat that was calling in the north is responding to this lioness, she's calling, he's just joining in because he's just advertising that if she's calling for other reasons other than being alone and looking for her pride mate, the other reason she could be calling is because she is coming to Eastus and she wants to call and listen for other males. Maybe she's not interested in these males. Another reason why a lioness would call. Another reason why a lioness might call is also it's part of the pride bonding when they call together and to maintain their own territories. She's going to climb up. She's just doing a stretch and a scratch. Morning, Sid. How are you? Good, and you? Good. That's one way to get away from him. Probably going back to the dam now. See you later, Sid. Going to sit with him a little while. It's just really lovely light on him, and we'll see, because he's possibly going to stand up and go. They seem to have gone back up on towards the dam. I'm going to see what he's going to do now. Let the other two vehicles follow them. Hi, Tammy. Having on slave, these are the two full-bellied males we were watching the other morning. Yes, they are. And just remind me, was that 3 days ago? 4 days ago? 2 days ago? It's all a blur. The days. We see so much, and so much happens every day that we sometimes have multiple days all in one day. Especially doing a morning drive and an afternoon drive, sometimes you get the feeling that you've had more than your fair share of fun in one day. Nikki's saying, yes, I think it was Sunday morning. Sure, he's going to come along and start sniffing around where they've been. Maybe. So it goes to show, I mean, we were asked why we were with them with such full bellies, how long it would take to digest all of that. Now, from where he is now, the angle that he was lying, he could see them going up there, but I doubt whether he could see where they went from there. So he's probably going to sniff their trail from that point now, unless he can see them. Let's go and follow him. Be spraying there, he's spraying his territory, just making sure, probably looking out for both himself and his brother. Now he's going to have to try and see where they went, because they actually went back up towards the water, which is to the left of us, and he seems to think they've carried on that way. Okay, I'm going to catch up with him. Or do you want him to walk out of shot? Let's get level with him. Wow, what a morning. There's another what if question from Brenda. Brenda's in Virginia. Hi Brenda. I hope you're enjoying this. This might as well be a Sunday morning. What if the female prefers this brother? I think it's too bad, Brenda. The other male, being the dominant male, asserts his dominance. And maybe even that's why she's giving him the cold shoulder, because maybe she'd rather have him in her life right now. And there's not much he can do about it, and maybe that's why, like a puppy, he himself is following them around. But he's just mostly following because he's part of he's part of this coalition of males of the Matimbas. So he won't go far from, well, I guess it's a wrong statement, because they do spend time apart. They do spend time in considerable distance apart. But I suppose maybe he's also hanging around because she's going to be estrus. Maybe the other lioness will come along. Coming back to where they were originally when we first got here. We've done a huge circle around Twin Dams. I don't know where the other two are. I'm going to find out shortly. We'll see how good this lion can track his brother. Cedric, come in. You still with the other two? Okay, this other my daughter's now heading up Twin Dams, heading north. Yeah, firm. Okay, so I'm guessing that his tracking skills aren't even nearly as good as mine this morning. I think I could track his brother better than him right now, because they're still back at the water. Unless he's just heading back north because there's nothing for him to do here right now. For the time being, we're going to let other vehicles enjoy the other male and the other female. We're going to see how far he gets. Sure. This is exciting stuff. Spending time with lions that are active. So many times we see lions, so often we see lions that are asleep, and it's par for the course with African lions. And very, very soon these cats are going to find themselves in some shade. The sun's coming up, it's starting to warm up nicely. It was perhaps one of the coldest mornings we've had so far. In fact, the second morning that is a very, very clear, pale blue sky, very typical of our dry season and winter months. And I know for a lot of people who are in the northern hemisphere, or maybe even some of you in New Zealand, it can get quite cold down there. But for those of you who do experience real cold, it is sometimes that we are all bundled up. We're not in winter yet. I've got a few layers on this morning. It's probably only about 15 degrees, maybe a little bit colder down in the dips, because the colder air settles in the dips. But enough of a temperature change that it's the first feel of winter on our doorstep. Apart from the leaves changing and the dry season well underway. But it'll warm up quickly, and we can hit temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius by late morning, noon. So we can consider these two separate locks now. This other, my daughter is now almost at elephant skull. So I've left the lock with my daughter and my Fazi. Not even attempting to follow his brother, not even attempting to find him. He's making his way north. I bet he's going to head up towards Gari Dam, maybe then crossing, going up towards Biffles of Cutline, might even angle off towards Biffles, back towards Biffles Dam. Be interesting if he does maybe link up with the lion that we're calling from the north which I'm guessing must have been the Nkuhumas. He is sniffing, he is smelling, but I don't think he's smelling to see whether they were walking here. I wonder what that is that's hanging from his mane. Probably just some nut from a kill. They look soft and cuddly, but I have to be honest, they've got quite a rough fur, but it is also very, very dirty and very smelly, and it does harbour various types of bacteria, some of which can be quite detrimental or debilitating to us humans just by touching wild lion. And times when I've been involved in darting exercises for research purposes or for collaring, I've had to wear gloves because you have to wear latex gloves because you can't get that bacteria on your hands. So let's see what happens when a lion walks through the bushveld, because as you know, we drive these same roads and every now and then there's a kudu or a giraffe or buffalo, and he's on quite a mission. He's bound to walk past some animals. Another spot, we just paused where a hippo has been spraying the bush with dung. Final control, please repeat. Thank you for information. Wonderful thing about what we are doing and this whole live safari that we do. And if you're joining us and you're fairly new to live safaris, this is just the beauty of do this every day over time and have viewers that are with us over time, because I might not remember dates and things, I can remember that some things did happen. And Tina and Diane both sending in information that the 10th of January this year, which is 3 months ago, just over, which is about the length of time, just beyond the length of time, the gestation period of lion. These two males were seen mating with one of the two lionesses from the Styx. Now, the other thing I would like to get information on is if any of you, I've got photographs of her from now. I think I've got one or two nice. I'll put that up later on the Wild Earth page, and we can have a look and try and identify which of the lionesses was being mated with in January. Oh, flop in the ground. He's going to be rolling in some dung. We'll see what it is. Or rolling in something. Now I need to actually go back to that leadwood where she was rolling and playing, and see if I can smell anything there other than the evident hippo dung. This could be some dried buffalo dung. I wonder. Oh, he's going to start roaring. Didn't go on as long as I was expecting him to. The end of the call. I'm just gonna derobe a bit. Start taking layers off as it starts warming up. And it's looking for a reply. Let's stop and listen as Now I thought that perhaps he had decided to just leave his brother. When in doubt, lie down. But it seems that now he's expecting an answer. Because we sort of directly between him and Twin Dam, so we're just going to move off to the side in case he does get an answer. I'm just going to find out from them. Ruan, come in. Are you with us, Ngala? Did they react to this one's calling? No. Okay, we couldn't hear it from here, but evidently at Twin Dam. I'm at Spaghetti Junction now, just before Chelapan. So he did hear them, that's why he stopped and turned around. After his roaring, they started roaring. We didn't hear it, unfortunately. But I think he might have expected that maybe they'd moved further north, and so he has laid down because he knows where they are now. Could be too that he's waiting to hear if the lion in the north are going to be answering. That wasn't a full-blown territorial roar. It was more or less just a communicative contact call. I just had a flutter in my hat. Something was tickling my head, and it turned out there was a moth stuck inside my hat, probably from last night still. What a strange sensation. Getting a head massage from a moth.
I'm getting from flies.
Yes. No shortage of flies. There's the moth. That's gone. A little bit confused. any of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm sure this must be quite an experience for you, and this is as much as it is for us, because we can never get tired of this. But the beauty about this is, if you are here for the first time, do let us know whereabout you are, where you live on this wonderful planet of ours. And you can do that either by sending an email, questions at WildEarthTV is the email address, or lowercase, questions at WildEarthTV. Conversely, if you're familiar with Twitter, you can tweet to hashtag Safari Live, hashtag Safari Live, one word. And we'd be great to hear from you, any questions you may have. Quite a unique opportunity to have many people on one vehicle from all over the planet being able to experience this beautiful morning with us. Where are we? Midweek, I think. The only traffic I've had to experience this morning are lying in the road. There have also, I thought I'd let you know, not far from us, there have been crocodile tracks in the riverbed, and we'll see a little bit later if we get there. We'll see if we can get to see those crocodile tracks, and that would be the crocodile from Buffelshoek Dam, who has decided to make its way back to wherever it came from. I guess came on a walkabout, see what the fishing was like, and most likely because the dry season is approaching and there are no doubt a lot of dams and a lot of water holes that are drying up. It doesn't surprise me and I think maybe we can leave him be and go back to the male and the female. And I suspect that she's only maybe coming into estrus, and I suspect that maybe at some point she might relent. Normally the female is the one that initiates the mating, and one of the reasons why she is rejecting him is because she's not ready and he's trying to initiate it. So let's leave this boy for a little bit. Hopefully we can catch up with him again, and maybe he won't really go very far. I need to find a feather again to feather flies from my face. I'll have to settle for a quarry brush. wow, all I can say is absolutely amazing. There are times, and there have been many times in the last couple of weeks, that these two lions have been coming onto Gari early in the morning. We kill them at night. We get excited by leaving camp in the morning, finding their tracks either at Gari Dam or getting the word that there had been a lion at Gari Dam maybe an hour before we started drive. There have been times we've followed the tracks with excitement, thinking that coming around the bend, every bend, there's going to be a lion lying in the road, much as he was lying in the road now, and only being disappointed in finding their tracks crossing south. And no doubt now, thinking in retrospect, that they've been traveling down to join up with they head back to the north to the Gurumas, because maybe it's better for them to be with a pride of 7 cats to help bring down larger prey than to be spending time with the 2 lionesses at the Styx, because they have a greater chance, or there's better hunting with 7 than there is with 2. Having said that, though, I think when they appeared with full bellies, they appeared from the south. Just a speculation on my part, that's all. This is the leadwood that they were rubbing on, and it is just most. I need to move a little bit more because you can't really see the damp. She was rolling in very damp grasses. There is hippodung there. There's a lot of hippodung, but there's also a lot of liquid. And I don't know what that is. I'm later when we come back, I'm going to have to put my nose in it and have a good whiff to try. I obviously don't have. Morning, Starling. Excuse me, Starling. Darling Starling. I'm going to stay there for the camera. Pity he's not sitting in the sun. You can get some of that metallic blue. You're a little quiet this morning with cats in your midst. Bye. Doesn't care about big cats. Starlings not in any danger. Doesn't feel the need to. Shout out to the world. Let's see what these two are up to. See that? Look up. So we need to go around and come back to the other side, because I don't think we're going to be able to see this angle. She's quite low down. We might have to wait until they get up, but they're both flat at the moment. I think we'll do, try and get to see them from the other side, might be better. Maybe on the dam wall. Now, that crocodile did stop here at Twin Dams, but I don't think it's here now. Yes, we did a stint in Thorny Bush with 3D forming, and now we're back until, well, we'll see, I think the end of May.
Oh, nice. Weren't you with us at that wild dog? When the wild dog attacked that Impala in Buffles was there?
That was probably Peter and Hayden.
Okay.
That was December or
In
late November.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that classic.
Sorry.
I say that was classic. I was.
And then where do you go after May?
Sorry?
Where do you go after May?
I'm not sure.
Because Wild Earth will sign you.
Yes.
You're independent.
No, we work with WildEarth. So evidently the other male is coming back here, and she's heard something, so she's sitting up now. And of course, yeah, buffalo maybe. I can hear the oxpeckers coming in, and it's probably the oxpeckers that alerted the cats to some activity. Very interested look on her face. You can see the concentration. Completely different mood to when she's been turning her back on him. Good. I think I've got the question from Final Control from Carol in Florida. Will the two males fight over her? Not really, Carol. The bigger male has, on many occasions, we've even seen once or twice, asserted dominance over him, the other male. And the other male, to avoid confrontation and to avoid anything, he acquiesces and he gives this male space. I guess there will be times when they might, and because these two males have this kind of relationship and this kind of status quo exists right now, doesn't mean that this is how it works all the time. And with Lion, but it just seems under the circumstances this is how they are operating. In fact, she's a little bit hesitant at the water, so these cats are somewhat familiar with a crocodile presence. Some squirrels are starting to chirp now. I'm not sure where those oxpeckers came from, but there was a small flock of oxpeckers that flew by, and that got her attention. Earlier she was scratching in, this is a sedge grass where she's at now, it's known as cyperus. Not cypress, but cyperus. It's a type of sedge. She's doing now what she was doing earlier, urinating a little bit and scratching with her hind legs. She has glands between her toes, and they do secrete a hormone, perhaps a pheromone. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see if he sniffs that area now and what his facial expression will be. I can see the other male approaching. He's coming back from the northern end of the dam, but let's watch this one for now. I can't see it very well, but he is doing the phlegm and grimace. He is accessing his Jacobson's organ with her scent, licking the grasses where she's been rubbing. There we go. Beautiful. It looks like a snarl, but there's no aggression in that expression whatsoever. And the other male, seeing the two of them now, has now flopped down on the other side of the dam. So you see, even though I was trying to interpret his actions, I got it all wrong. You never know with animals. You can't predict, or you can't explain, you don't know what's going on inside their head, so it's wonderful to be able to spend this time with them and to be able to, in retrospect, understand their behavior rather than to try and explain it while it is happening. But it's one of the reasons why we try and spend time with them for observation and learning and understanding, because it's only through that we learn anything. But it is always a one-off thing. What we observe today might not be the same for any other circumstance of similar activity.